What was the movement then for you with going to Spinefarm?
Being at Universal already, working with bands like Rammstein, working international, my boss there said to me, look, we have this label, because Universal had bought Spinefarm years before. It's a Finnish label. They just bought it and done very little with it, but they had it. And Spinefarm would sign some really good bands. They'd sign Nightwish, Children of Bodom, Fintroll, many really, really good Finnish bands. And these bands were going to do well internationally at that point. So I was said, could you develop this label? Could you start a UK office? At least do that. And then let's put some records out, put some catalogue out, try and sign some bands to Spinefarm, and try and grow the brand, within Universal. So I did say at the time, this won't be a short process. And that was probably 20 years ago. And I think, obviously it's still a process. I think we're in a great position now because obviously, we have the labels now run out of New York. We have a big team over there. I'm in the London office. We've got a young lady in Germany. Obviously, there's a Finnish office still there. But it's now a global, broad-based rock and metal label. And I'm very proud, along with my colleagues, I'm very proud of the work that we've done, bringing bands on board. I think there's been some great signings over the years. I have to say that, I think signing Sleep Token was a major thing for the label. I think for any label that would be a major thing. For me as a human being, that was a major thing as well.
You signed them right at the start, though, right?
Pretty much, pretty early. I mean, there was already some independent releases, not albums, had come out, and then a friend of mine who was managing them, he invited me to go. He sent me some music which I really loved, and invited me to go and see a very early show. They were supporting Perturbator at ULU in London, and I went to that show. And I think, while it was obviously formative, all of the ingredients were very much there. There was clearly a huge talent and a huge vision bubbling away there, and I really wanted to be involved as soon as possible, and happily we were able to do the deal. And I think the third album the band made, Take You Back to Eden, I mean, they're all great records, and the fans love them all. I think the third one is an absolute masterpiece. I really do. I think it's an incredible piece of work. But I love them all because I was involved with them all,
Did you expect the growth to be as rapid as it was?
I think from the beginning, myself and my colleagues always felt there was something very special about the artist, and I think we treated and worked with the artist exactly the same from day one as we did once there had been success, because when you feel there's something really special going on, I think it makes you think, okay, we have to, if there is a rule book, we have to tear it up immediately, set fire to it in Rammstein's case, but tear it up immediately. And we have to do something completely bespoke. And I think because that artist demanded that level of attention, expertise and knowledge and experience applied to it, I think we came up with a very different vision of how to develop an artist. And I also do think there was some incredible strengths in the project which were intrinsic. I think the fact there was no interviews, and there's never really been an interview.
Did that go against your journalistic background?
No, it didn't. I thought it was. I thought it was amazing because because the thing about that is that if you're a listener to a piece of music or to an artist or an act, and you're not told anything about that music, so you have a completely open mind when you approach. You can put yourself 100% into that song and make it your own. You can align it to your own experiences, and so no one's told what to think about music. It's clearly very personal, but you can still put yourself into that song. And I think not having the interviews was a massive strength. I think also keeping the anonymity, the mystique, because I think so much of rock, what I love about rock and love rock is the mystique of it. I don't always want to look behind the curtain like in The Wizard of Oz. You're not sure what you're going to find. I'd much rather leave the curtain in place, and because perception is everything in our world, I think. So I'm much more excited sometimes by when everyone has a different way of doing this. Some people really want to engage heavily with their fans, and that's brilliant, and they're very good at it. And some people just want to take a different view of it, and so it's different for everyone. But I think I do like the fact that you can read a lot of your own things into something because you're not told what to think or what to like, or your thoughts aren't led in any particular direction by something. And I think because Sleep Token's music is so hugely emotional, it can really pull on your heartstrings. And I remember watching a lot of the YouTube reviewers, who were hearing music for the first time and reviewing it for the first time. I'd already heard this music, obviously, and they were crying. And I've cried to Sleep Token music as well. I think it's incredibly powerful. And I think that's there's such a huge appeal with something like with an artist of that talent who's prepared to be vulnerable to that extent. It's a huge point of connection. So I'm really thrilled that we were working with the band, and I think they've clearly got onto a massive thing, which is so satisfying to see them headline Download. Standing with the people I worked from the beginning with the band is incredibly emotional.
Was that something at the start you would have imagined to actually happen?
Well, you always want that, because you always think, well, look, why not? Because I think the thing with working with artists is everyone's got a different idea of what success is. To some artists, the idea of success is doing it on their own terms, whatever level they get to, doing it on their own terms. That's what success is for them. I completely respect that. And we have artists who want that, and that means they're gonna be number one in their own world. How big that world becomes, I don't know, but that's their thing, and that's what they want to do, and that's right. I think with Sleep Token, there's no ceiling on it because of the nature of the music, which, while being heavy in places, is also got incredible melody to it, incredible songwriting, and incredible lyricism as well, and what a voice. So I think that there's actually nothing stopping that from getting as big as big. I think the artist can get bigger. I don't see any reason why not. The quality is there. So I think you always hope with something like that it's going to go all the way. I do think what was interesting with that was, and this is something I'd never experienced before, because then this relates back to the internet in a way, and the way that music is consumed now, was when Take Back to Eden was breaking. It was breaking in real time, and we could watch it breaking in real time. So whenever I went to my computer and I refreshed anything, there was another million of something had happened on that. And this is breaking in front of my very eyes. It's just unbelievable, and it just didn't stop, so satisfying when something that great gets recognition. I think and for us, we're just thrilled.
Was the ambition to be that big obvious at the start?
When I work with artists, if someone says to me, what do you look for in any artist? The one thing I would say that you have to have is a strong vision. So if you've got a strong vision, then that's the starting point. And then after that, anything's possible. But you have to be true to the vision, and that's not a vision that I can give somebody, because it's not my band. I want them to have the vision. I want them to bring the vision. I want the vision to be undiluted. I think I can help them focus it, enhance it, amplify it, put it on a bigger global platform, and help in many respects. But I think the vision must remain true, because if the vision isn't true, then what is someone investing their emotion, their time, and their money in? It's fans have to feel it's authentic and real, and everything that we do as a label is about that. There's nothing fake. We won't get involved with that stuff. It's not my taste, not my instincts. So I want it real. I want it raw, and I love it when there's a raw emotion exposed. And I just want. I love it when bands are all in. I think that's what it has to be, because this is my life, and it's their life. I think also when we work with artists as well, we have to also remember, above and beyond, we're working with them on a musical level, releasing records, whatever that involves these days, and that's quite complicated in itself. We are dealing with people's hopes, dreams, ambitions, loves, and lives, and so it's not product. This is real fragile human beings, and they're trusting us with something that's very precious to them, and we've got to take that incredibly seriously, which myself and my colleagues really do. And no one's perfect, but if you start with that, I think you won't go far wrong.
What does it sort of mean to the label when you get a band like that? Because if someone sees Universal as the headline, pick up a band and they break, it's like, yeah, no shit, that's what they do. But is it more significant for you as a label when it's like Spinefarm have done that?
Well, yeah, because Spinefarm, we're owned by Universal, and we're distributed by PS, but we sit within the Universal empire. But I like to think we're the best of both worlds, because we are a very small team of passionate professionals backed by a very big system, and that can help our artists if we use that system in the right way, which we try to do. When the button needs to be pushed, let's say, that button is at least there to be pushed, and if an artist needs a bit of extra support or help, that is there to be had. So I think we occupy the best of both worlds, in the sense that you could never get lost in the cracks at Spinefarm, because there isn't a crack, And the other thing about it is we all work on the same acts globally. So it's not just, oh, that's a UK band, you just work on that. We all do the same thing. So if you're an artist on Spinefarm, your music will come out globally, it'll be worked globally. And you have a team that sits in different territories and will work using the same assets and with the same timeline, you know. So I think that for an act trying to sort of break, that's a very powerful thing, I think. And it's not always the case.
With Sleep Token, I think they've moved to RCA. Was that disappointing to not pick them up and carry on?
I think with any artist that you work with, you want to maintain the relationship as long as you can. The important thing to us is to have the relationship, and I think, you know, we wish the very best of success to the artist and the management team. And actually we work with another artist through the same management team now as well. So I think relationships always pay off, because we're all in this for the long term, and it's about building relationships, building contacts, and building trust with the team. That if somebody works with us, that we really do care about it, and we really try to make the difference. Because I think when I first joined the record company world, you know, back in the early 90s, whenever that was now, the one thing that was said to me when I was kind of being sort of indentured into the record company world was, you know, the guy I was working at the time said to me, just don't tell me you sent an email. Actually, emails were in, and there you go, that's web technology had appeared. Don't tell me you sent an email. We're here to make a difference. Just make the difference, you know. So I really carry that with me to this day. I think it's good advice, you know. I mean, we can all do stuff, but I want to make a difference in a positive way, obviously, if you can, yeah.